Good morning, children. After the continuation of the first chapter, resources, we are proceeding further with land and soil resources. So, in this chapter, we have to go through how we can conserve land and soil. As you know, children, that human beings, they live on land and fulfill almost all of their requirements, about 95%, whether food or clothing or shelter is concerned. 95% of the requirement is fulfilled by the land itself. Whatever the products we are using in our life, they are obtained only from land. And 30% of the total surface area of the earth is covered by land. So making its availability for human use, it is very, very limited. 90%, as we know about, of the world's population lives in only 30% of the land area. So the rest of the land is either very thinly populated or uninhabited. This is only due to the harsh climatical conditions which are prevailing, and due to these climatical conditions we are not able to make proper utilization, and we are not able to live in the regions which are not suitable for us. The term land use denotes the different uses. The land put is for cultivation of crops, then grazing of animals, mining, construction of roads, then houses, construction of buildings, setting up of industries. All these things are done on the land itself. Next is the factors affecting land use. The first is the physical factor. The physical factor of a region includes relief features, soil, climate, natural vegetation, availability of water and minerals. And in the second, like in this only, the river plains, they are very rich alluvial deposits, and they are very fertile, just like Ganga plains in India. They are very good for the cultivation of our crops. On the other hand, if we look down for the mountain slopes, they have got, very thick forest cover, and only because of their scenic beauty, they have become a source of attraction for the tourists. Like alpine meadows, they provide excellent grazing ground for sheep. The plateau regions, on the other hand, of the world, like African plateau or Deccan plateau of India, they are the storehouses of minerals. Mining activities are also common in these areas. As far as the human and economic factors are concerned, mostly in densely populated areas, the forests they are cleared for constructing buildings, roads, and railways just to meet the demands of the people. On the other hand, if we look around for USA and Canada, the roads and railways they are converted. The prairies, grasslands over there, they are converted into extensive farms of wheat and corn. The next topic we are covering, as it is very, very important, how to conserve land resources. See, land is a finite resource, and to make the optimum utilization of land, it is very important to know and to make the utilization in a very planned manner. The nature of the land and the needs of the local people have to be taken into account while preparing the land use plan. Unplanned and haphazard manner or land use may cause to a serious problem which is known as desertification. Some of the measures that could prevent land degradation are deforestation, overgrazing and excessive use of fertilizers, landslides, floods, soil erosion, desertification. These points are responsible for land degradation. Children, all you must be knowing about soil since childhood, that what is soil and how many years it takes in the formation of soil. Soil actually it is made up of organic matter, minerals and weathered rocks. Soil profile refers to the layered structure which spreads from the parent rocks to the top soil surface. The first layer is the topsoil with humus. Humus plays a very important role in the formation of soil. The second layer is the subsoil which contains sand, silt and clay. The third layer is weathered rock material. And the fourth layer is the parent rock. The thickness of the soil profile is affected by the time taken for the soil to form. Now, as far as the soil formation is there, various factors affect the physical and chemical properties of soil. The first factor is of course parent rock. It determines the texture, color, chemical properties, mineral content and permeability of the soil. Color may be red, black, grey, and texture may be loamy, sandy, like this. But the loamy soil, it is very good for the cultivation of crops. As far as the climatical conditions, it depends upon the temperature and rainfall, weathering rate and the formation of humus also. As far as the relief is concerned, it determines the altitude and slope of the accumulation of soil. Flora and fauna affect the rate of humus, that is degraded organic material in the formation of soil. And the next is the humus increases the soil fertility. The last point we are covering is of time. It determines the thickness of soil profile, and it takes thousands of years to make just 1 centimeter of soil. As far as the types of soil, as we have already discussed here, soils are classified according to color and texture. On the basis of color, there are black, red, brown and grey soils. On the basis of textures, soil are sandy, clayey and loamy. And loamy soil has a balanced proportion of sand and clay together with humus. So it is the best for the cultivation of crops.